Welcome back to the YouTube. Today we are here with Quinn, and Quinn is going to take us on a little bit of a journey from being a Zoom PT. If you don't know what a Zoom PT is, you're probably quite lucky. To being a full-time online coach, making about £8,000 a month. Talk us through the Zoom thing.
Well, it was the natural progression from, well, it was lockdown, and it was the only thing I could do. I had a gym. My dad built a gym in the garage. So I was basically just messaging every person I knew that was remotely linked to fitness and saying, I'm going to be doing a Zoom session at this time on this day. I know you're not going to be leaving the fucking house. Be there on the first one at least and get it done. And I had like 40 people on it. I was pacing around the garden for about 10 minutes before, like my heart was absolutely going. And that's where it started. And then it split off to females and then males. And I was doing mornings, like 3 mornings. And I was doing the workouts with them, like 3 workouts in the morning, then evening, and then females in the morning. And it's almost, I built up a Zoom business from it. And I was making good money, well, not good money, but a little bit of money from uni and to earning money, which then split off. And I was doing a little bit of online training, Word documents sent with a few workouts and nutrition. And that's where it started. But that was just during lockdown, and I didn't have any scale.
Did you not PT before that then?
No, I literally went uni.
Okay.
So I went uni, got my PT qualification while I was at uni.
Did you graduate in lockdown then?
I graduated.
Were you one of them?
Yeah. So So the last month I finished uni.
Yeah.
And then, it was like lockdown might be happening.
Oh, okay.
So I fucked off back home.
Yeah.
And then lockdown happened and I stayed at home, and that's where I did the Zooms when I was at home. So it could have been that I got stuck at uni for the whole summer, but I managed to get out before they locked it down.
Oh, that's quite lucky. So then you went from that to building your online business. What do you think the biggest differences are between like what you were doing first and actually being an online coach?
I mean, with the Zoom stuff, it was because it was online, but it's all, it's still time frames. Whereas obviously building a business and making a successful business is all about putting your time in certain areas and working when maybe you don't want to work. Whereas for me at that time, I was like, I'm earning a bit of money from doing 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. I can do what I want for the rest of it. It's locked down. I don't mind. Whereas now it's like every minute of the day, I'm like, I need to be doing something to progress the business and pushing it forwards.
What would then, so let's go through 3 biggest tips of what you would do. What you essentially had was like a sort of weird, like low ticket, class style business. And I think a lot of people have that, right? That's not, whether it's online or whether it's like in a gym, like a lot of people have that kind of, pay a little bit and turn up to my thing. Yeah. So the biggest steps that you made to go from that to obviously high-ish ticket online, what do you charge per month now? I forgot.
Well, 300.
About 300.
Yeah,
so
250,
pretty high ticket. Yeah. High-ish anyway for the UK.
Yeah.
So moving from that to that, what would you think your 3 biggest steps would be?
Dropping anything that isn't one-to-one. Anything that was group for me, that was the biggest change. It was just saying, right, I'm going to stop doing any classes. Yes, it's income, but it's not progressing me towards my business and what I want to do long term, and it's not very scalable. You have to set an hour and have only a certain amount of people in that hour, whereas now it's like endless, obviously bringing on different coaches, etc. That's the first one, is making sure you're going one-to-one. That's the first thing. Second thing is content and putting yourself out there no matter what people think of you. Like I was very much, if I do this, my mates are going to take the piss out of me, and that's with my content and stuff. They were at the start. They were like, "Oh, Quinn's doing his stupid little videos."
Mate, people used to take the piss out. I used to set my camera up, and like the first ever like online coaching thing I did was called McGrath Training Systems. Yeah, you're laughing. That's what they did as well. Funny enough, who's laughing now, motherfuckers?
Exactly.
Who's laughing now?
Flexing.
But yeah, and then people like I'd be filming, and people would like go next to the camera where the mic was and go McGrath Training Systems.
Yeah,
like while I was doing the video, and I was like, "Fuck, I won't have to do that again."
Yeah.
And like, used to be like, oh, fucking online. Yeah, I'm an online coach. And I'll be like, dickhead.
Yeah, that's it. It's gone from me making, I'd sit down for literally in this 5-minute videos on my old fitness Instagram of me just chatting rubbish with no editing, just in and out. And that's now, and now my mates are like, yeah, we know what you're doing. We appreciate that you're putting the work in. I might not even watch the whole video, but I'll like it and I'll make sure that I share it if it's something that needs to be shared. And that's a big thing about just almost growing up, going from 18, 19 when you're making videos and your mates are like, what the fuck are you doing? Whereas now I'm making content and they appreciate that it's for the business more than for me. And they're like, yeah, he's doing what he needs to do.
I think everyone goes through that period when you first start making content of like people looking at you being like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, walking down the road, looking at the camera.
Well, that's even like today, me and Simon were out like doing stuff in Liverpool and I'm like, my stomach and my heart is pumping because I'm like, everybody is looking at me posing, crouching down. And then Simon's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm there like, everyone's watching me. Oh my God. And it's like, when I'm in the gym doing gym content, I generally will hype myself up beforehand. And I'll literally, to my mate who's filming the camera, I'll be like, I make money from this. I make money from this and action. And I'll just do it. And I'm like, I don't care. Whoever's watching, that's me done.
Yeah. That's a good point. So content, making sure you've got like a premium one-to-one model.
Yeah.
Did you have any like issues with that? Like going from group to one-to-one? Like, because a lot of people say to us like, I hear it a lot like, oh, I do group because it's affordable for everyone. And then you're like, okay, so like anyone that doesn't do group is Satan then.
Yeah. That's been the biggest, like not issue, but problem personally to try and get over and trying to say, I can't cater to everybody. Not everyone is going to be able to afford the training or want the training from me.
Yeah.
And accepting the fact that people are going to say no. And they might be nice about it and that's all right. But when people just blank you or just ghost you or whatever, it does take its toll. Like the first few, I was like, what have I done wrong? What's happened here? Take it personally. And even now sometimes, but I'm trying to be a little bit more positive about it and just see the bigger picture. But yeah, it's definitely just taking a step in the right direction in terms of being confident on the sales calls and pushing it. And that's what I've been working on really.
Yeah, for sure. Final tip then. What would be the third biggest thing that people have to get on board with in order to make the transition that you have?
Well, I mean, definitely if you are struggling and not able to scale a business, asking people to help you. And I know that's pretty...
We don't set people up to say this, by the way. Not
no,
everybody says this.
Listen, no setup. Listen, me and Simon were speaking earlier. Beforehand, I was asking for hours from Aaron.
Yeah,
I was asking him to get me on the desk because I couldn't pay my bills. And he said, you got to go out and find it. And that conversation then spurred me then to obviously go through. But yeah, why would you not ask someone who knows what they're doing and has been there and done that and been in a situation when you be like, and it's the same with coaching, it's the same with ego. It's like, no, I know better, or I want to do it on my own. And people have that's like, I want to have the feeling that I've built it all up myself. And it's like, why would I do that when I can ask someone who can tell me exactly how to do it and put the processes and the systems in place that's got you to where you are. Why would I not do the same thing and replicate it? And that's mentoring and asking for help is the main thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't get it, but I think I'm a fan of coaching. Like I've always paid people. You know, the only time my business hasn't ever grown is when like I got too big for my boots and I was like, I don't need no one no more. And that was it.
It's the case. Like I've had so many people since obviously being on the program that they're like, oh, but you could save X amount a month. And I'm like, yeah, but then when I get to a problem, which is inevitable, I'm going to have to deal with it myself and then either pay more for someone else or pay more for that extra little bit than being on a good program, you know?
Yeah. Appreciate it. Right. Any final words?
Just go for it. Cut off the people that are paying very low money. Doesn't make you any money in the long run. And it will just run you into the ground.
There you go. Easy work. Thank you very much.